Okay, let's talk about resuming features using tables in Excel. Um, to show off this example, I'm going to go ahead and manually suppress this initially, and it's going to suppress any children that are there. Um, so we're going to come over here to Excel and we're going to say, okay, let's look at the resume. There's the table feature resume, which references tables, and it's expecting an item name and also a feature name. And those can be wildcards, each of those. So I'm going to type in an item name and then feat name, and we're just going to create a table out of that. The reason for this is that we're going to use this table for multiple things here in just a second. So we're going to call this my table, just as an example, and the filter button. Now, we could go populate this table and create it automatically in NitroCell and do all kinds of fancy stuff, but I'm just trying to show that we can resume this. So I'm going to type in this model manually, bracket.prt, and I want to resume anything with the word whole in it. Okay. So to reference this table, we just need to put in a TBL my table, hit return. And because we are modifying the model in some way here, we want to just make sure that it's up to date. And we'll put in a regenerate using the same table reference. So the way this works is that when you're referencing tables, tables are iterative references. So if we have more than one, it's going to operate this command on every option and then go to the next one and do the same thing again. So when we do this, you'll notice that those features in fact resumed, but the children did not. And the reason the children did not is because that's a separate command. So let's go and let's actually play with this a little bit more. And now what I want to do is I want to say open using a table, and I'm going to use that same table reference. Okay, so we're using the same table for like three things right now. We're going to open the models that are in here. We're going to resume any features that are in there, and then we're going to regenerate based on the same table. So this is one table reference that's being used multiple times. And just for giggles, let's go in and do a normal feature suppress. And we're going to do this on any model that's in session. And we'll go suppress any holes that are there. And then we'll run the resume on any of the content that is opened, and then to regenerate on those models. So if we take a look at this, we could actually add in, let's add in those other brackets that we know are in the working directory. And we'll do the same thing here. Now, if I erase memory, we'll see that there's nothing in session and run this. It's going to connect to Creo, that's going to connect to Excel, and it's going to start looping through each of those items in the table to open them, perform the suppression, then go and perform the resumption, and then regenerate them all. So if we come in and we look at each of these, you'll see here are the models that are here. And in fact, this has been resumed, so the whole is actually shown, but you'll notice that some of these other features are still suppressed. You can actually make this a little bit slicker by putting in, let's say, bracket star.prt and eliminate these two extra lines. So this will, if there's any brackets in the folder, it's going to do that. Let me just erase memory here and double check that we have nothing in session and run that again. So in this case, it's actually querying all of the content that is in the working directory, pulling up each of those models and going through and suppressing and resuming the geometry that we asked it to. So pretty powerful capability. And this can, of course, be tied into other Excel tables and chained together with Power Query to do some really impressive things.